Persona 3, The Answer. A story chapter in the beloved game Persona 3, which shows you, the player, they should eventually move on from the past because the past shapes who you are. It just so happens that the company who created this game cannot move on from a character in game installment they created 8 years ago. Ironic, right? But anyway, let me stop using its dead name and call it what it is. Persona 3 Reload. Episode Aigis. I'll be splitting up this review into sections, starting off with the positives in this DLC. And so without further ado, let's speedrun this. Positive number 1, Metis. Metis deserves her own category, despite being Aigis' #1 fan with unwavering support for her sister.
You're my sister!
By constantly mentioning her in the over 200 plus floors of the Abyss of Time. She's cool, she lit up the answer for me personally. Someone had to create the conflict and it just so happened to be Metis. From destroying the dorm at the very start of the game to making Aigis kill her friends. Kind of. It helped build the little story that episode Aigis has. I think the English dub of Metis fit her pretty well. I also think she had the best hangout event, or at least the most memorable one. Positive number 2, being able to play more Persona 3. Since the last time I saw anything about the answer, which was something like 8 years ago, a lot of the things were almost fresh to me, so it was nice to experience it all again, but I don't think it's worth the £30, especially with the controversy of how they released it, and if you don't know about that, you can look it up. Positive number 3, voice acting. The Abyss of Time voice lines. I think without the Abyss of Time cut-in convos, whatever you want to call them, exploring that place would just be completely mind-numbing, especially after doing 260 floors of Tartarus in the base game. So unless Atlas was going for 100% immersion and making us suffer alongside the Seas members, this was a good addition. But don't get it twisted, the actual voice acting in the game, those lines, yeah those ones are good too, but that's a given. And that's probably where all the positives end for me. I beat the game a good while ago now. It's been around 2 months since then, and the only other thing that sticks out to me just so happened to be the negatives. So, on to the negatives. Negative number 1, Twilight Fragments. There's very little! How am I meant to experience this game to its fullest when after finding the 5 Twilight Fragments in the dorm, my only choice is to do Elizabeth's smelly requests? Which by the way at a certain point just come down to RNG item drops from enemies and monad doors. Not fun. I just wish there was some more Easter egg Twilight Fragments. Unless I missed some in Polonia Mall. But that's not my fault. Or I wish that Elizabeth's requests were reworked. Which actually brings me on to my next negative. Negative number 2. Very grindy. Lots of requests with small chances of getting the fucking item needed. How am I meant to get the maps book to study with Fuka and Metis when I've got maximum 7 fragments on me at all times? Maybe I managed them poorly, but with how generous Elizabeth was in the journey, base game for those uneducated, I expected to get so many more. Maybe Elizabeth just really wanted to visit Mikoto Yuki's room, but she didn't have to pay me in Twilight Fragments. Negative number 3, cut content. They fucking removed my nightmare fuel. They changed the whole cutscene and just made him perish into butterflies in blue glitter bomb Mark Rober dust. This is fucked up, sickening frankly. I am not happy. And they fucked around with Yukari's breakdown meltdown thing, but I'm too lazy to research exact points where that happened, so just take my word for it. And that's the only cut content I care about, I think. Negative number 4, music. They made some of the songs have cartoony and 8-bit elements, for example this synth in the background of 331. It's super extremely funky and gross on the first listen. They changed the pitch of it and fucked around with the wom 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 things by making them slightly deeper. I'm not a music nerd, I'm talking out my ass by the way, but I have ears and this is what they hear. Another song that I think they made 8-bit, and to which I alluded to in my last video on episode Aigis, is Darkness. I listen to the Fez Darkness very frequently, and the 8-bit dings don't exist in it, but they do in the Reload version, which makes me quite upset. Upon further inspection, I think they replaced the clap from the Fez version with an 8-bit sounding ding in the Reload version. But don't take my word for it though, I just listen to music from time to time. Negative number 5, hangout events. And the last one of the video. Since they decided to do hangout events, this was their time to include Mikoto Yuki more. and show off how each member of C's griefs over their friend who just died a month ago. It wouldn't feel out of place or ruin the mood since Persona 3 is a sad game. It's sad that the main character fucking dies. Moving on and getting over stuff implies that the thing that you're getting over is sad. If they did make them grief and talk about their grief, it would have made more sense than any of the hangout events that they did do. A fucking maths book isn't gonna do much to the story of episode Aigis, and I get it's from Aigis' perspective, but by how much times the words he and him are mentioned from all around C's, it would have made more sense, and added more, if they showed them all grieving to Aigis individually. In conclusion, Persona 3 Reload? Yeah, it's fine, I like it. Persona 3 Reload episode Aigis? Buy it if you're really desperate, and love exploring Tartarus for the second time, but if you don't care all that much and just want to watch the cutscenes, just watch them on YouTube. Most of the DLC is gameplay heavy, and it's just 200 floors of Tartarus all over again, and in my opinion, for £30, it was alright. 6 out of 10 if you're gonna buy it, maybe wait for a discount. The only true redeeming quality was Metis, until she betrayed me and then Aigis forgave her in the same scene, so that kinda sucked. And well, that's the end, that's my review. Since you're here, you might as well hit like and subscribe her, right? That'd be so cool, right? Anyhow, I don't know. Tell me what you thought of this game in the comments and I'll reply to you. Probably, I don't have anything else better to do. Also, there's a Discord server that you guys can join if you want. I reopened the one I made a year ago and we'll see if I keep it open this time. If I don't, then ignore that this ever happened and the invite is dead. But anyway, take care of yourselves and I'll see you later. Bye bye!